I'm Evan, and I was one of the authors on this piece of software and the sort of overall project that Big Sleep encompasses, and I'm going to talk to you about this one little technological bit of it, and maybe you'll want to use it for your own purposes. So the Big Sleep encoder is a way to take media files and encode them in such a way that it creates a valuable absence. So when you were a kid, maybe you were never a kid. If you were a kid, you might have had a pet, and the pet got old, sick, something. And your parents or your guardians or whoever cares about you enough to lie to you when you're a kid would tell you that the pet's going to the farm to chase chickens and be generally alive forever. And you believed it, and the animal went away, and that was that. And that created a really usable absence for you because it was not finite. You could theoretically visit the farm. I mean, you weren't, but you could. And that was a way to sort of become accustomed to not having something around, especially when it was a situation where there's nothing you could do to keep it around forever. It kind of lets something go on your terms, which is nice. Humans like that. We have trouble dealing with that in our own bodies, and we also have trouble dealing with that in our archives because things fall apart. This is what they do. We know that chemical things fall apart, and we also know that digital things fall apart with a sort of alarming regularity because we encode things magnetically. Your hard drive is sort of just a cluster of electrons, and that would be awesome if we didn't live on a giant magnet floating through space near other giant magnets, so that's kind of a problem sometimes because it could just rip an electron off, and sometimes that does nothing, but sometimes that takes your header or your footer or just corrupts your file. Scary stuff, impermanent stuff, and the Big Sleep encoding tool kind of helps us deal with that. And what it is a way for you to put media into this file standard, and it locks it down forever. You can never open it again, but it also comes with the sort of implicit conceptual promise that it'll be okay. It'll just live on your hard drive, inaccessible, forever, but you won't have to deal with it not existing anymore. So let's jump into it, shall we? All right, so here's the Big Sleep encoder. You clicked on this to get this video playing, and this takes you back to the Big Sleep main site because it is a larger project than just the encoder, but here we go. So here's an EULA that you should read that talks about the responsibilities inherent in archiving something with blatant disregard for mortality, but whatever, here we're going to agree because no one really ever reads these things. Okay, so we're going to put the title of media. So first thing you want is a piece of media that you want to encode to this lockdown, inaccessible absence format. I'm going to pick this picture of me as a baby because it seems sort of wildly appropriate to do so. So I'm going to put title of media. I scanned that in and called it birth year 101 because it was maybe the 101st picture of my birth year that I scanned in, although that seems like it can't be right. I think my mother took this picture, so mother took this picture. It was definitely a 35 millimeter still. I'm Evan Meaney. That's the person that I am. I believe this is a JPEG, so it's a JPEG. The production year, I was born. When was I born? I was born in 1985. This is a picture of a baby that I used to be. Here you can verify that. And there's someone's back. And the reason for Big Sleep is encoding. I suppose for me, I've moved several times. I've amassed these sort of sinks of hard drive space and also physical. I have like boxes of medals that I won in third grade for participating in soccer tournaments that I didn't do very well in. And they still live in my attic. And every time I move, I have to move these boxes with me. And it would just be nice if they just went to the farm and I didn't have to deal with my past. Even though my past isn't really bad, it'd just be nice if I could not have it. So there's too much past. There's just too much. I have permission to upload this footage. You can upload from a local file or from a URL. I'm going to upload from a local file. Are you sure? Files encoded to the Big Sleep encoding tool cannot be retrieved in a playable format at this time. Do you knowingly accept this circumstance and wish to continue your upload process? No one lives forever. Let's do this. At this point, it's going to run whatever it is it runs to lock down your file. And we're going to skip this part because we can. All right, it's complete. Hooray. We have a download file and a download receipt. Let's download this receipt really quickly. Pops up right here, and oh look, it tells us what we just did and gives us a sort of reminder of what we're willing to give up, and we can hang on to this as a sort of exoneration for our participation in this act. And here we go. We can download our Big Sleep file. You'll notice that it's much bigger, right? It's already downloading 33 megs, and I believe the upload file was less than a meg. Big Sleep creates quite a big file, a sort of data monument to the things that you've encoded. Let's wait for this to be finished. It tried to open, and it can't because, as we said before, there's really no decoding a Big Sleep file, but you can rest assured that it's on your hard drive, and you won't have to deal with it, you won't have to think about it, but it's just there, and that's probably good, right? It's good to deny ourselves access and create absences that were once presences. Anyway, thank you so much for taking a look at this. I hope you enjoyed the Big Sleep encoder, and I trust that we will all live forever, digitally or otherwise, and we never have to worry about the alternative. Thanks.